Hello and welcome to Up Close and Personal, a segment inside of the Ecclesia Christian Talk magazine. I'm your host, dlp3142013, and today we're going to get up close and personal with Denijah Nicole Samuels. You actually have family here.
Yes.
But you hail from Houston, Texas.
That's correct.
Awesome, talented young lady. We actually made friends with her on Facebook, and we have a mutual family member.
Yeah.
But we're not related, but we are related to some of the same folks. But anyway, we're kind of keeping track with you, and she has a brand new book. How long has your book been out?
Actually, it's been out for 8 months.
Okay, 8 months. Okay, well, so it's still brand new.
Yeah, freshly new.
It's Expressions of Confessions.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to talk a little bit about the book. You also do some acting, praise dancing.
Yes.
God just got you doing a whole bunch of stuff.
A bunch of stuff.
Full-time mom.
Yes.
Single mom.
Yes, that's my most important job.
Yeah, that's the ministry itself. So anyway, we want to talk a little bit. Talk about the book. I did do a little background, and I've sort of read your testimony. You've been through a lot of things. Strong young lady, but this is one thing I've noticed. Being in ministry, God does take those of us that have been through a lot and use that. And as Revelation tells us that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. So I think in that, I'm not saying He can't use anyone that hasn't gone through anything, but you have to go through something in order to help deliver and pull others out. Exactly. So kind of want to talk about, the idea of the book, what's in the book, what's it about, how did it come about, and just a little bit about Denijah.
Okay, well, first of all, the book is just a collaboration of poems. And if you look at the book, the way it's written, it has the date, the time, and it's kind of like a little diary.
Okay.
And actually it was things that I would get on my computer and type up just thoughts, maybe about things that happened to me currently, or things that happened in the past, or things that happened to friends of mine. Because a lot of times me and my friends would talk about different situations that they were going through in their lives, and I would actually make poetry out of it. Okay. So the reason why I titled the book Expressions of Confessions is because it's more like a testimony, which is similar to a confession. You actually explaining what you've gone through, what's happened to you, and explaining the details of how it occurred. So God blessed me with the talent to be able to write it in the sense of poetry where the words rhyme, but the feeling of the poetry is real because it's real life situations.
Yeah. And something, like I said, from reading, I haven't actually read the book, but reading what it was about, I figured, some folks that, it's things that have happened, and folks that's sharing their experiences that a lot of people just don't talk about, But some young woman, or maybe even a young man, needs to hear that and know that, hey, I'm not the only one, or maybe this would be something that would bless them.
And that's why a lot of people like the book, because there's a lot of things that they can relate to. Some of the things are taboo. It's about a married woman and her husband cheating, and it's a response poem from the woman he cheated with. She ended up getting pregnant. There's a poem about incestuous relationship where a child came to be. It's a poem about rape. It's a poem about a mother and her addiction. It's a poem about divorce from a child's point of view, where the parents got divorced. The book, it's only 55 pages, but it touches a lot of different topics that people deal with on a day-to-day basis. And that's why people love it, because it's truthful, it's honest. It's a book where you'll laugh, you'll cry. It pulls out so many mixed emotions just in 55 pages.
It's relatable.
Yes.
Everyone can relate. Either they've been through it or know
somebody that's been, exactly.
And that's great. Like I said, at least you give the credit to God, because that's where the talent anyway comes from. But I also did some study. You started writing at an early age, poems and poetry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Back in elementary, I had a poem that won first place, and I've been writing ever since I was able to write. Started off with 3-liners, and then eventually they became, to the point where I could make up a poem so quickly that I would write them and then throw them away. And then somebody told me by the time I got 12, keep them.
Yes.
So then I started to keep my poetry.
Okay.
And a lot of times when I go out to perform spoken word, say if the show starts at 7, I may get to the building at 6 o'clock. And if there's people around, I may go around and say, well, what do you want to hear a poem about? And they'll tell me, and I'll write it right there on the spot. So
It's off the top of your head.
off the top of my head.
Ever put anything to music, or just basically just?
I've never put anything to music, but I thought about making a CD, like a CD of the poetry.
Right.
Because a lot of times you can write something and people may not know how to read it, or they may not read it with the expression or with the feeling. So that's where spoken word comes into play. And with spoken word, you can put emphasis on the words where you want to put it, and you can actually give your poem life.
That's a great idea. That's a great way to do that. But okay, let's talk about, because I also saw you have done some acting. And is a play that's currently touring now, or?
Well, we actually we performed in Dallas, and it was really like an HIV awareness play.
Okay.
It's called Just When You Thought. It was about a married couple, and the woman was cheating on her husband. She ended up getting pregnant, and the guy she ended up getting pregnant with ended up being a homosexual. And, well, actually, I guess that would make him bisexual because he was with her. And he ended up being positive with AIDS, and he also ended up being the lover of the husband's best friend. So it was like a lot of stuff going on.
Sound like Peyton Place.
Yeah. So I actually played a character named Grace, and I was the wife's friend. And in the play, I had the role of a dancer.
Okay.
But I was in the church, and I was in the choir.
Preach.
And it was like, the purpose of the play was to show how we judge people, and the people that we think would be the furthest away from God, they were actually close to God, and they were actually able to minister even through their sins. Because Grace, yes, she was a stripper, and yes, she was in the choir, but she actually spoke to the wife and told her what she was doing was wrong, and how sacred marriage was, and how she shouldn't be, committing adultery. And a lot of times that's how it is in real life. The person can't see their own wrongdoing, but they're always able to tell you about what you're doing wrong.
Yes, yeah, you can always see the other person. Okay, so now, I think I saw, maybe it was just something you had posted, but there was another play, about the call girl.
Yes. Yes, that's a play that's going to be out hopefully within the next 4 to 5 months.
Okay.
And it's actually about a call girl who ends up giving her life over to Christ.
Okay.
So we try to portray the plays as real life situations, and always try to, at the end result of every play is the person giving their life over to God.
Okay. So now, what can we do to get that play or get those plays to come to Bowman?
Well, we don't have a problem coming here. We just need a venue. And once we have a venue and we pick a show date, then we'll have someone here sell the tickets, and we'll be more than welcome to travel to come perform.
Okay. Well, we're going to work on that.
Okay, sounds good.
I also caught a clip. I wish I had it to show. We're going to find that clip. I had a clip of you praise dancing. Now, how did that evolve? How did you start doing that? And how long have you?
Well, I've been praise dancing for the past 3 years, and I actually got recruited by one of my fellow church members. I didn't know I had the capability of praise dancing until she pulled it out of me. And it's a wonderful way to minister through music, to be able to put body movement with the words of song, with the word of song. It's just very beautiful, and a lot of people can relate to the praise dances, and it's just another way to minister.
Now, tell about your church affiliation. What church are you affiliated with?
I attend the House of Prayer, Holy Reformation Churches in Houston, Texas, off of Cullen.
Okay, that's amazing. I grew up in the House of Prayer. It was a missionary Baptist church in Beaumont back. We're not gonna say how long ago, but anyway, sometime back. Now with New Beginnings. Actually, you're listening to Ecclesia Christian Talk Magazine, and this is Up Close and Personal, the Heart of God Ministry segment. And today's guest has been Denisa Nicole Samuels. Actually has family here in Beaumont, Texas, and just thank you for coming down and traveling today to be with us on the program. We're going to be looking for some other things. Now tell us about, how can we get the book?
You can purchase the book at www.lulu, that's LULU.com, or you can Google the name of the book, which is Expressions of Confessions, and you can also purchase it through PayPal.
Okay, so 8 months has been going, and, all right. I want to make sure we covered all the bases. We talked about the acting, talked about the book and what it's about, and just talked about you. How can they contact, I mean, do you also have copies yourself, or you just basically go to the...
Yes, I also have copies. If you look on the back of the book, all my contact information is on the inside. You can actually add me on Facebook under Denasia Work in Progress Samuel. We also have an email address, which is denasiasamuel@hotmail.com. That's D is in dog, E is in elephant, N is in Nancy, G is in girl, S is in Sarah, H is in hello, I is in India, A is in apple, Samuel, SAMUEL @hotmail.com.
Okay. Once again, thank you for coming down and being a part of the show. And we'll see you next week in Up Close and Personal.